Throughout the history of mankind's expression through art, many themes have been highlighted to present social issues. One of the earliest issues that were exposed was the difference among the various societal classes and the vast differences of their respective qualities of life. Artists are able to convey messages to an audience in a unique way where viewers are able to absorb these emotions. A portrayal of wealth and poverty is carefully articulated directly and passively throughout the history of art. Artists have decided to express these aspects of life using the context, content, and subject matter in their masterpieces. One of the earliest examples of the articulation of poverty can be shown in Honoré Daumier's The Third Class Carriage. In this oil-on-canvas painting, Daumier captures the difference between third-class and first-class passengers while they all endure their daily commute. By painting a crowd of low-class workers jammed into a railway car, he's able to highlight the physical barrier while passively discussing the mental and societal barriers that these people are surrounded by. The foreground of this painting is the focus of this work, a fatigued family that is simpler and poorer than the top-hatted bourgeois behind them. Although these women are shown as poor and exhausted with not much to live for besides for raising their children, Daumier presents them with dignity and fortitude. Vincent van Gogh, one of the most influential artists in history, was deeply affected by the dignity, spirituality, and sturdiness of the impoverished peasants in the village of Nuenen in Holland. One of the major works from his time at Nuenen, The Potato Eaters, reflects his compassion and respect for the low class. By using thick-set marks which convey his overbearing enthusiasm and compassion, reinforcing the powerful physical presence of the peasants, Van Gogh is able to transmit his compassion to his audience in hopes that they too will feel compassion for these people and bring forth a solution to the problem of the poor. He instills this compassion in the subject matter, content, and context of this painting in order for the spectators to fully grasp his theme. Egon Schiele fought intensely with his middle-class uncle in order to fulfill his dream of becoming an artist. Schiele's self-portrait, Man Twisting Arm Around Head, of 1910 was made after his uncle cut him off financially, highlighting the starvation and sickness he was going through. Additionally, Schiele seems resistant and obstinate in his glare and bold gesture, showing his ribs to emphasize his deformed and unhealthy self. This self-portrait conveys his vulnerability, the same one people in poverty find themselves undergoing. The use of watercolors, gouache, and charcoal highlight the fact he did not have an abundance of funds to create his painting. Dorothy Allange is a renowned photographer who highly influenced the government with her photograph Migrant Mother, California of 1936. In fact, she was a part of the Farm Security Administration Project, which was an organization during the Depression to fight American rural poverty. Her photograph used a large focus which enabled her to create a powerful image by capturing the details, the impoverished and distressed sitter as well as naughty combination of hands, arms, and turned heads, which highlights the family misery. The effect that this photograph had on the public, as well as the government, shows how important this medium is in emphasizing such hard times to communicate the anguish some people feel during crisis.
Edouard Manet showcased his curiosity regarding social traditions to the canvas by masterfully rendering Olympia. There's no doubt that the painting's subject matter is a wealthy prostitute who has many wealthy patrons. Olympia lies carelessly on disorganized and expensive bedsheets, and whilst covered with jewelry, she haughtily ignores the flowers presented to her by her servant. The orchid in her hair, her bracelet, pearl earrings, and the oriental shawl on which she lies symbol wealth and sensuality. Manet undeniably portrays Olympia's wealth by making a statement about the difference between prostitutes of the upper and lower class. Henri Lartigue emphasizes a powerful illustration of wealth in his photograph Avenue du Bois de Boulogne of 1911. His insightful depiction of the privileged society he was born into helps one grasp the irony and contradictions of the peculiar upper class. It shows a well-dressed, proud woman walking her dogs through one of the main streets of a famous park in Paris. The subject of the photograph, Arlette Perclost, has an arrogant look on her face that conveys a sense of superiority that seems to characterize most wealthy societies. This disgraceful and shocking character portrays the materialistic lifestyle of Parisian women and conveys that appearances can delude reality. The last art piece that showcases the theme of wealth is Fred Wilson's metalwork. Wilson decided to excavate the storage of the nearby Maryland Historical Society for any hidden treasures that have not been looked at for decades. He retrieved silver pitchers, goblets, teapots, and most importantly, slave shackles, which he then placed in a case of fine silver. All of these antique objects were seen as valued goods. Wilson's message was mainly that of deconstructing original objects and giving them a new, polished, and high-end finish. Whether we live in 19th century France or the modern times, poverty and wealth are a major component of everyday life. This subject matter continues to impact the art world today as artists demonstrate their implication through sculpture, architecture, photography, and paint on canvas. As long as a societal gap exists, there will always be differing perspectives on wealth and poverty to spark artistic creativity.